Council meets tonight, and to run down the orders of the day, I welcome Town Council President Jessica Rapgrassetti. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
So a big meeting on tap for tonight. Tell me a little bit about what is going on this evening.
Well, we'll begin after public comment and town manager communications and acting on the minutes. We'll do communications from our commissions, boards, and we'll be hearing from the chair of the golf committee, David Miller. And I see that your station has been interviewing committee chairs, and I think this is wonderful to get information about what their advisory and commissions and boards are up to and what they're doing, and appreciate all they do for the town. So we'll be hearing from David Miller.
Indeed, and I'm sure that, as you guys have found, we have found that the chairs of our boards, committees, and commissions are so passionate about our town and about the issues that they represent. It's always really a pleasure to hear from them.
Yeah, and I think we need to do that more often. So
absolutely,
keeping with that. So moving on to the orders of the day. At our last meeting, we began the discussion on amending the general ordinance to include a new Chapter 78 on fertilizer. And from that meeting, as a result of that meeting, a working group was put together by several councilors, Vice President Kennedy, Councilor Fred Chigrotis, and Councilor Cullum, Jen Cullum, and myself, and the Attorney Weil. And we hashed out some of the concerns that we had on the ordinance, and have put forth some substitute text, which will be coming forward and adding to the discussion on at tonight's meeting.
Sure, and this kind of takes a closer look at fertilizer use across the town of Barnstable, correct?
Yeah, we need to protect our drinking water and certainly control the nutrient enrichment of our bays and bayments too. So we need to control the lawn fertilizer that contains the phosphorus and nitrogen. And this isn't to eliminate fertilizer, but to educate people that put down fertilizers, not so much the professionals, but the people that do it in their own backyards, to have them follow the best management practices on turf management and limiting when they can put it down and how much they can put down on their lawn. So just being, I'd like to stress the educational component of this ordinance as opposed to the punitive portions of the ordinance. So just the public needs to be educated on where the nitrogen that they put on their lawn to make their lawn green ends up. So this is to address that.
Indeed. And then next is an appropriation order for Sandy Neck.
That's right. Councilor Phil Wallace is been sponsoring this. I know he's one of two councilors liaison to Sandy Neck, and this is for $90,000. And with this is an ongoing problem that they have on the north side. When we have good nor'easters, they have lost a lot of sand over the years, and without additional sand, a significant storm could damage the parking lots and septic system, which is very costly to repair. So this is being proactive with that and stabilizing the sand and around the parking area there.
Great.
Then we have the appointments to boards, committees, and commissions. A lot of people step forward for the Comprehensive Advisory Board and Golf Committee, Council on Aging, Public Works, Recreation, Water Pollution Control, and Zoning Board of Appeals. So
Great.
Always looking for good volunteers, and happy that people have stepped up for that.
We like that.
Yeah. And then we had at our last meeting a presentation by the head of assessing, Jeff Rudzniak, and Mark Milne, our finance director, on the tax levy. And this is we have to do this on an annual basis according to Mass General Law. We have to determine the allocation of our property taxes by adopting a residential factor, a residential exemption, a small business an exemption, and this is done annually. And so we'll be. We had the presentation a lot of information was handed out to counselors, so we've got to set those rates this year. Traditionally, well, in the past 9 years, the council has voted to adopt a 20% residential exemption. This doesn't, we're still collecting the same amount of monies for the town.
Right.
It's just how we spread it around is determined at this meeting. So.
Indeed. Always an important discussion. And then one final item under old business, and that is from the golf division.
That's right. For acquisition of golf maintenance equipment. I've never played golf on these two golf courses, the Old Fairgrounds and the Hyannis, but I understand from many of my constituents that they're spectacular golf courses, and I know you've had tours and you've seen firsthand how lovely they are, and they're top courses in New England. So we want to keep the maintenance of the turf in order, and these will go to providing some mowers and equipment for those courses.
Very, very important indeed. And then moving on to new business, several items under new business tonight as well.
Yeah, one is acceptance of a formula grant from the Executive Office of Elder Affairs. And, according to the 2010 census, there are over 12,000 residents over the age of 60 in the town of Barnstable. And this is a formula grant so for FY15, and it's based on $8 per elder. So this equals about $102,760 to be exact. And this year's grant will fully fund the activity coordinator, the marketing coordinator, and 2 outreach coordinator positions over at the senior center. So this is a very important grant to secure, because without it, it would affect the senior services operating budget. So and I'm sure Madeline Noonan, Director of Senior Services, will be presenting that item.
Sure. And then the next couple of items have to deal with the Early Learning Center and improvements to Hyannis West and BWB.
Yeah, now these are first reads on these 2 items, but it was decided that there's a lot of information, again, too, on these items with regards to the schools. The Early Learning Center is slated to be located at the Hyannis West Elementary campus, and Dr. Mary Chukowski, the Superintendent of Schools, will be putting forth the projects at the first read, and we'll have counselors ask questions if need be at the first read, because there is quite a bit of information. So then council will have a couple of weeks to absorb the information, or to perhaps have small working groups with the school committee or superintendent and facilities director there to ask even more specific questions if need be. So
Great.
This is a appropriation transfer order of $564,977 for the Barnstable Early Learning Center, and the other item is for $172,000. That's for the design services for the High West Elementary and Barnstable West Barnstable Elementary Schools. Those are the portable classrooms. My goodness, between 1979 and 1992, because we had such a bump in population, there were 19 portable classrooms that were added, and the word there, portable,
right?
They've gone beyond their useful life, and if you ever take a tour of those, they're in pretty terrible shape.